Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and now I'm going to be testing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the RTX 2060. How are you guys doing? Long time no see. I already tested this game on 5 GPUs, this is the last one. Tomorrow I'll probably be doing videos, thanks to Ubisoft for providing a copy of the game. So now we're going to be we're going to start with 1080p resolution on the ultra high preset. Let's see if we can play the game on ultra or not. So we're using the absolute highest settings on 1080p. How are you guys doing? Good seeing you there. Let's get inside of the game. This game stutters so bad with 8 GB on VRAM. What? What do you mean? I didn't have that problem. I mean, the game stutters, yeah, but on 8 GB on VRAM I had less issues. Anyways. Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit more after I finish testing the game. But on the highest settings, yeah, I'm getting some stutters already. Let the game load. Sometimes when the games are first loading, they stutter. This is one of them, unfortunately. But yeah, let's see. Come on, finish loading game, for Christ's sake. Are you done? Yeah, apparently. Okay, so on the highest settings, at 1080p on the 2060, you're getting over 30 frames per second. So do not worry, if you wanted to play on ultra, this is how. Super easy, as you can see. So we're going to try the very high preset now. Let's see if there's any difference in performance. So, before doing that, let me see the frame rates we get here. Here we get, okay, upper 30s, gotcha. So upper 30s versus, let's see. So upper 30s where we're getting on ultra settings. Now we're swapping to very high, sorry. That requires us to restart the game, unfortunately, so gotta wait. Yeah, the screen tearing, well, I'm using a capture card. The screen tearing is going to show up each time, so that happens to everyone. Hola Lord Byron, ¿cómo andas? ¿Todo bien? What is your personal rig? Ryzen 5 3600, RTX 2060, 16 GB of RAM, basically. Biggest performance is volumetric clouds, try to lower that to low. Yeah, it doesn't have a low option, it only goes down to medium. But I'm going to do a tweaked version of the options menu in a few minutes. I want to first see how the presets are doing, the difference in performance between the presets on this card. Then we're doing optimal settings and higher resolutions, so you guys can see how the game runs at different settings. But yes, I know. The volumetric clouds, we tested that already. Do not worry. ¿Todo bien, Juan? ¿Qué dice? Ah, genial. MX Pro, te va a andar bárbaro el juego entonces. Alright, so the game loaded. So, on ultra settings we were into the upper 30s. And here we're also in the upper 30s, as you can see. Well, low 40s. So not a huge difference between very high and ultra. Basically the same numbers as expected, really. So let's now go down to high. This should improve it a little bit, but not really a lot. So between very high and ultra, basically the same performance-wise. What's the temp? Super high temp is a single fan card, so yeah. I'll tell you the temperatures later, don't worry. Will the 2060 Super be overkill for Ryzen 3 3100? If you're playing at 60, it should be fine in most games. On this one, probably not enough to get 60s with the CPU, but I did get 60s with the CPU. Yeah, you'll be fine, man. As long as you tweak the settings, I'm going to be doing it later, the tweak settings. Hello, I'm kind of late, forgive me. It's okay, man, nothing to forgive. You can arrive at any second that you want. I'm not going to be mad. Is there a significant difference between the super variant? Yeah, you should be getting a 5 to 10 FPS boost, I think. Don't quote me on that, but you get a boost in performance. Not only a VRAM improvement. You get both things. More VRAM and also more performance. All right, so high settings. Let's see. 1080p on high settings. Yeah, this needs a lot of GPU resources. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you get 80 degrees. Yeah, true. Same. All right, so high settings on 1080p. We got a small improvement. We jump from the 40s to the mid 40s, so 5 FPS improvement. Let's try medium settings. Again, guys, probably using the lowest volumetric clouds is going to be fine. But I'm trying presets at the moment. Optimal settings are coming. Do not worry. So medium. This is going to be probably the best performance boost on medium because volumetric clouds are going to be lowered. But hey. No, it's not as CPU intensive as Origins and Odyssey. So far it's using half the CPU. So 4 cores and 8 threads, only half the CPU. So it's using significantly less CPU. The DX12 implementation was a good idea. Way less CPU usage by a long shot. So yeah, not as... It's more of a GPU intensive game, this one, I would say. Is 2060 better than the 1070? Yes, it should be like a 1070 Ti, something like that. RX 580 equals RTX 2060? No, not the same. Es por las nubes. Ahora lo arreglamos, no se preocupen. We're going to fix the performance, do not worry, guys. I'm using presets, but this is the new way. I'm going to lower doing the optimal settings. The volumetric clouds are usually the biggest issue. Okay, so with the lower settings, we're getting, okay, medium, we're getting 60s here. Let's see if we can maintain it all the way into the town. Well, as you can see, on medium settings, 1080p, we're getting 60s with some drops into the 50s. We're going to try doing this, but with our optimal settings. So we're going to do some tweaks here and there. So the first tweak I want to do is on the graphic settings. We're going to put anti-aliasing on the max, so on high. Word details, let's put it on high. Clutter, let's keep it on medium. Now let's keep it on high. Let's try something else. Shadows, we'll keep them on high for now. Volumetric clouds, we keep them the same. Water, we put it on high. We add screen space reflections. The textures can be maxed out because we have enough VRAM. Let's keep depth of field and motion blur for now. And if this doesn't work, we're going to lower shadows and world details. So let me restart and see how it goes. But as you can see there, from high to medium, we jumped all the way from 45 to 60. So that's how you do it. Yeah, this one is GPU bound. Yeah, so far it's GPU bound. But yeah, it's pretty hilarious that we have to use medium settings to get 60s. You need at least 6 cores, 12 threads like the 3600. Depends on the game, really. Oh yes, a wonderful use of optimization. That's hilarious, Alexis. And thanks to Ubisoft for providing a copy of the game. In this game, RX 5700 XT equals 2080. Really? Interesting. Well, it's an AMD sponsored title. Yeah, I'm doing 1440p later. Let me get to the best settings for 1080p, and we're doing 1440. Don't worry. We are doing it. So, hang on. I'm gonna make the status. The status is going to be something different. So, in the meantime, let's not call this. Let's not put a name to this preset because I gotta do some tweaks. Alright, yeah, that's not working. So let's try lowering shadows. Now that we're here, let's do that. So shadows on medium. And this, we change this later. But yeah, let's lower shadows in the meantime. I hate so much that I have to restart the game. Holy hell, this is a mix between medium and high. Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for watching. We have 600 people. Jesus Christ, so many people. And I just finished a live stream. Would I get more FPS with a Ryzen 5 3600? No, you're not. I mean, it's going to be basically the same. We are GPU bound. As you can see in in the GPU usage up there, the GPU is maxed out. That means that the GPU is the limiting factor. If we needed a faster CPU, the GPU wouldn't be maxed out and the CPU will be at 100%. This is not a problem. Here, as you can see, the CPU is not having any problems to get this game to 60. As long as your GPU can do it, you'll be fine. And also this game seems to be running better on AMD cards than NVIDIA, so it's the other way around, opposite to Odyssey, apparently. And for some reason I have no mouse cursor on the screen. Pretty weird. How much for a shout out? Just be a member 2.0 and I'm going to say your name at the end of the live stream. That's as far as I can go, man. Yeah, not even high settings 60. Did you skip the 750 Ti? No, the 750 Ti didn't launch the game. We tried it, the game didn't even launch. Alright, doesn't seem to be shadows related. So apparently it's the draw distance. We're going to change that. So we're going to be lowering world details from high to medium. That should be the best boost. And shadows, we keep them basically on high because it changed nothing. So yeah, let's do that. Let's see if world details helps in any ways. So yeah, 1440p high is probably going to be 30 frames just fine. But let's try, what do you expect from a 2060 Super? Probably a 10 FPS boost in this game. But I'm trying to get to the most demanding option. Right now the volumetric clouds are 1 and the world detail should be another one, but I gotta test it individually. So yeah, you need a Discord server. I already have one and I'm not using it, so I'd rather not have one really. I get better communication with you guys using YouTube comments. On Discord, it gets lost in the sea of chat, so I rather use either the live streams or the YouTube comments to talk to you. So yeah, thank you so much, Mark, for that one. Can't wait to see hardware and box balance settings. I mean, probably going to be the world detail and this, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Going to be interesting. Is anti-aliasing? Yeah, the anti-aliasing, if you lower it from high to low, you're going to get an improvement, a noticeable improvement, but it's going to use a lower resolution. It's similar to the temporal filtering on Watch Dogs 2, so keep that in mind. Okay, wasn't world detail either, so we're going to try something different. Let's see. I mean, if I lower the anti-aliasing, it's going to be fine either way, but it's going to be a lower resolution. As you can see there, we jumped into the 50s. But I gotta see what's the most demanding option other than the, what's the name of this? Other than the, my brain, other than the volumetric clouds. These are on the minimum. So yeah, let's try now clutter, and if that doesn't work, we're going to try water, and if that doesn't work, we're using medium presets and we'll be all fine. But yeah, medium presets, super disappointing that to get 60s on a 2060 you need medium settings. What's the resolution? 1080p. It's 1080p. It's not even 1440p. Sí, no, elfo negro no. No para las nubes no, pero para las otras cosas sí. Las nubes ya están al mínimo. The clouds cannot get lower than this. Turn SSR off? No, why? Why? It's a 2060. Why would it turn off SSR? That's ridiculous. There are games with way better reflections that have more FPS. It doesn't have RTX. This is not a game that has, as far as I know, there's no RTX. So let's see if clutter was the culprit, and if that's not the one, we're going to try water. Oh man, are you going to benchmark Halo 4? Yeah, of course. If I get time to do so, I will. There are more games releasing. I mean, I have 13 releasing tomorrow and others. So yeah, hang on. Gotta check that out. Yeah, basically the same. It is in clutter, it is in world detail, so it's probably water. Let's see if there's any RTX. There's none. No RTX. So yeah, not sure what the setting will be. Yeah, the only setting I didn't lower was water. Let's see if water helps in any way. So we're going to lower water now. And if that doesn't work again, we're going to lower most of these options to medium and be done with it. But I already tried every option individually, and there's none. Every game needs DLSS. Yeah, it would be nice if every game had it. It would be fantastic, but we're not in that world yet. And a better world would be if AMD supported DLSS, but I gotta compete, I guess. Yeah, with DLSS we get a huge boost, but that's not the case. Unfortunately, real life is not that great, but it runs better on AMD so far. I've seen that the 580 was faster than the 1650 Super on this one by a noticeable amount. So there's something going on there on the NVIDIA side. And I'm using the latest drivers as well. Maybe bottleneck? No, there's no bottleneck. It's the GPU is maxed out. There's no bottleneck. It's a GPU limiting everything. So the CPU is not the issue. But thanks for asking. We're trying each option individually now. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks 3 times better and performs way better. It's a totally different engine. So I mean, yeah, it looks great, that one, and it runs better. That's for sure. Let's see. No, this one isn't either. So we're going to lower those in groups, like I said a second ago. That should give us the best boost. So we're lowering shadow world details to medium. Clutter, we keep it the same. Shadows, we put it on medium. What else? I'm missing something. Yeah, let's put all this on medium. Then we try the reflections. So let's do that. So this is basically medium settings with reflections enabled. So pretty bad, I'd say. En 4K todavía no lo pude probar, Emiliano, pero ya lo probamos. No te preocupes. Estoy tratando de llegar a 60 en 1080. Is this out yet? It should be out in a few hours, yeah. Don't worry. We'll be there soon. Yeah, the engine is the biggest bottleneck here, I guess. Hopefully they improve it for next generation. All right. Let's see how it goes. Are we going to get any of the AMD cards on the 6000 series? At the moment I have no plans to buy any GPU. I'm waiting for the budget stuff. But maybe, who knows? Who knows what the future will have for us? Yeah, I'm going to turn off reflections later. Be patient, guys. Come on. You gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. Patient. Also, guys, I'm using the latest drivers, so... Okay. Didn't seem to change much. Yeah, probably the reflections are going to be the culprit, so... Let's try disabling reflections. So bye-bye reflections. Yeah, barely an improvement, so the reflections were not the culprit. Let's see what else medium settings does to our PC here. Let's try low depth of field and no motion blur. Let's see if that improves anything at all. Barely. So yeah, let's try just the medium preset and pray to the gods of thunder that we're getting the same frame rate as before. So let's do... Oh, before doing that, let's crank up those textures. Oh, maybe it's the textures. We'll find out. Yeah, it runs terrible so far on the NVIDIA cards. Yeah, R3D, I'm using the latest drivers. I installed them before this live stream. I installed those drivers live on this live stream. So yeah, we're going to play once we get to the best settings. Do you like this game, sir? I like the combat. For the 20 minutes I played of combat were pretty fun. Just can see the name of the engine there, the Anvil 2.0, I think it is. Did it change environment? No, I didn't, because it didn't make a difference before, so I keep it the same. I just selected the medium preset and we're trying to see if that helps in any way. But I'm going to see if the textures change anything. Maybe those textures have a problem on the NVIDIA cards, we'll see. So yeah, how many GPUs do you have? At the moment I have 6. You know what's interesting? The 1080, the GTX 1080 hits 60 pretty consistently. I think it's CUDA cores limited at 2060. Well, it's the same area. I'm in one of the worst performing places in the first hour, so Okay, so we get almost the same numbers on medium. So probably the textures, let's see, I'm getting 50s like this. If I lower those character textures and the environment textures, let's see how it goes. So remember 50 FPS, and if it's the textures it will be hilarious. But hey. Es más o menos lo mismo, Julián. Si estás debajo de 30 sí te va a ayudar un poco, pero no afecta tanto, porque no está presente todo el tiempo. And someone was saying that it runs better on the 1080. It really depends on what area you were testing. If you're not testing in this village, looking at that wall, I mean, if you're looking in other places, the game does run better, but this is like the worst case scenario you could find in the first hour. So consider this a worst case scenario in the first moment. Taha, you don't know what you're talking about, but thanks for trying. No, no tiene RTX ni DLSS porque es un juego sponsoreado por AMD, supongo. Debe ser por eso. Sí, sí, lo voy a probar en 4K, no te preocupes. Let's see if those textures do something. Remember, we were into the 50s with textures on high. We'll see how those textures do on medium. Let's see if we jump in over 50 or something. Maybe that helps. So, okay, we got a performance boost. So lower textures, guys. We got a 5 FPS boost. A 7 FPS boost. Yeah, guys, lower texture quality. that's interesting. So texture quality was the culprit. So we're going to put anti-aliasing on low, world details on high, clutter on high, shadows we keep up on medium, volumetric clouds on medium because I cannot go lower, water on high, we're adding screen space reflections, we keep textures on medium because it seems to affect performance, and we're putting high depth of field. Now let's disable it. No, let's keep it on high, and no motion blur, thank you very much. And let's see if this gives us over 50 with low anti-aliasing. So let's call this mid-high settings. Probably this is going to give us 60. Let's see, medium to high settings. So medium high and low AA. Yeah, I'm going to get into a horse later. Hang on. Let's see if that helps in any way at all. But if that's the case, I'm going to tell you which are the best settings, because it's super interesting that the textures affected the performance there. Gotta connect my controller, 1 second guys. Alright. Controller apparently is connected. Yeah, it seems to be. Excellent. Try playing all low. Yeah, I'm going to lower the textures, so be patient. Gotta load the game first. Alright, GPU temps probably into the 80s. So don't worry. We're getting there soon. Yeah, volumetric clouds works the best, but we were already on the minimum volumetric clouds. Yeah, as you can see, those were the culprits, the volumetric clouds, and the... So I know what options are the worst now. As you can see, I'm getting 60s now, so those textures definitely helped. So the textures and the anti-aliasing definitely helped to get 60. So we're going to try something, guys. We're going to ultra high. So let me show you what my optimal settings will be. Let me hide the camera for a second so you guys can see. So we're going to do highest settings, anti-aliasing on low. World details, we're going to lower it to very high. No, let's keep it the same. Let's keep it very high for now. Clutter, the same. Shadows, we put it on high. No, the shadows didn't make a difference. Volumetric clouds on the lowest, so lower volumetric clouds. And those textures, put them on medium. Then no motion blur. Let's see if I'm missing something. Yeah, let's try like this. If this doesn't work, I'm going to try very high and the same optimal settings. The options you should care about are the textures, keep them on medium. Volumetrics, keep them on medium since it's the lowest. And the rest, and anti-aliasing on low. That should give you the best numbers possible. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that gives us anywhere close to 60. If that's the case, it's going to be hilarious, because those are only 3 options, but hey, it doesn't hurt trying out. The screen tearing, just enable VSync. There are many ways of getting rid of screen tearing. Sí, hablo español, Goku, sabelo. If this game is using the Nubo, you might even get hiccups on your cards. Yeah, I'm getting hiccups on all the cards, especially when you first launch the game. The first 2 minutes of gameplay on the first launch are basically stutterfest, and then it just stabilizes, like you see in this video right now. So let's see, now we're doing a super mixed options menu. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully we get 60s using these optimal settings. But hey, let's give it a try. So you continue on Family Matters. And Family Matters. I'm not going to lower the resolution scale just yet, but thanks for giving orders. I appreciate it. Okay. Nope, that didn't work, but we got better performance than on the high preset. So definitely gotta lower shadows a little bit, and we should be fine. So interesting. So those are super important options. We're going to lower now. Yeah, I think a mix between, should be high settings with those tweaks. We're going to do that, and that's about it. So we're doing now, guys, high settings, medium textures, and volumetrics on medium with low anti-aliasing. And that's probably going to give us that. And that should be about it. So we're now doing high settings, low AA, medium textures, and what else? I'm missing something. Oh yeah, medium volumetric fog, no, volumetric clouds. And I'm so tired of seeing these menus. Jesus. Medium textures, medium volumetric clouds, and I think that's it. I think. But I'm super disappointed with the performance on the 2060. I was expecting more. I already tested the 580. You can find my previous live stream. I already tested on many GPUs, so you can see it. So let's try it again, now that we are here. Ryzen 5600X is a great value CPU. Not sure, but I mean, yeah, why not? It's a little too expensive for this channel, I'll say. Let's see. Okay. There's an improvement, a slight improvement. So yeah. Let's see, motion blur, no thanks. Okay, the motion blur helped. So that is the worst place, but then when you run around, it can get better. This is a town. But you're not maintaining 60s like this. Oh, I forgot this. There we go. So this is how you do it. But yeah, super disappointing. This is a mix between medium and high. So I'm super disappointed. As you can see, when you get to a less demanding place, you get over 60 just fine. The thing is, when you're in a town, you can drop pretty significantly. So if you're seeing better performance on other cards that are worse than this one on YouTube, make sure that they are on towns. The first part of the game runs fine, this runs worse. Let's get on the horse. Yeah, even when we're outside of the city is fine. But yeah, the best settings to lower are ambient anti-aliasing to low, so you get a small boost to the performance there. Then medium textures, for some reason that gave me 5 FPS more. And then volumetric clouds on medium, because you cannot put it on low, unfortunately, it's on medium. And the stutters are super annoying when you get to a new location, so yeah. pretty terrible performance on the 2060. On the AMD cards though, it runs pretty good. I was pretty surprised about the 580s and the 570s performance. But overall, not too... I mean, on the budget cards, I'm surprised about the performance, but on the upper end, on something faster like the 2060, I was expecting a lot more. So I'm actually disappointed on the 2060's performance and the 1650 Super. Then on the 1050 Ti, the 570, the 580, on those I saw decent numbers. But on this one I'm pretty disappointed really. Actually way more crowded areas or cities can be extremely CPU intensive. Yeah, I know. But on the previous game, even on small towns, the CPU was maxed out in my experience. I'm going to be playing more, but I want to see more resolutions first. So allow me a second to continue playing. Alright. And for the people that said the CPU was not enough, the GPU is basically maxed out. So the CPU is enough to run the game at 60 frames per second. You just need a good enough GPU to do so, which is pretty difficult. And the game seems to be running better on AMD, so things to keep in mind. Si le subo las texturas, David, perdemos 5 FPS, así que lo voy a pensar. How's the RX cards? The RX cards run it pretty well. The 580 could do ultra settings 30 frames per second. Sorry, very high settings, 30 frames per second. So it was pretty good so far. Let's see if I can jump from here and survive. No, I'm not, apparently. Let's go back to the town. So I can show you the difference. We were into the 80s. Yeah, I mean, it was better before because of the X11. I know. I was expecting that. I really don't know, actually. Oh yeah, the previous game was the X11. The 1080 shouldn't be better. I don't have the 1080, so I cannot test it. Also, the 1080 is a little bit better than the 2060. Slightly better. As you can see, here's the problem, the towns with people on screen. I know, let's do the benchmark tool now. I forgot, there's a benchmark tool, let's use it. For some reason the textures made a difference. We're going to try... Let's try the lowest textures, let's see if we can maintain 60s like this. We tried those textures on low. And then we're doing the benchmark. We'll see how it goes. For some reason here the textures made a difference, so we're going to try it. I'm experimenting, guys. I'm trying to see what the best settings are. That's why I'm doing this. But it requires the game to restart. And then we're doing better resolutions, don't worry. I'm trying to get to the best settings. Yeah, the 1080 has more VRAM, but the VRAM is not the issue here on the 2060 because it's not even close to the 60 GB of usage. So that's what confuses me the most. Why would it drop performance if the VRAM amount is enough? Maybe it's a memory bandwidth issue, maybe? Who knows? Yeah, makes sense, Scott. The 1080 is like a 1070 Ti, super close, and the 2060 is like a 1070 Ti, so makes sense, really. Yeah, we're doing 1440p and 4K, but I need you guys to be patient for a second. Gotta try those textures and then we're seeing how it goes. ¿Cuánto pesa el juego? Ahora me fijo. Me olvidé de fijarme. Let's give it a try. Come on. Please, game. Alright, the performance with low textures is the same. So we're going to keep those on high. Let's use high settings now. But if you want, let me show you how to get 50 to 60. If you want 50 to 60, let me tell you the best settings. So I gotta get that out of the way before doing more resolutions. So if you want 60s to medium textures, for some reason it affects performance. Low anti-aliasing, so we're doing it like this. I remove my camera. So let's talk about the best settings for this card. So best settings, anti-aliasing on low, this on high, this on high, this on high, this on medium, water on high, reflections, why not, textures on medium, depth of field, let's turn it off because we like depth of field, That's about it. This should be the best settings. So look at them. At least for 1080p, if you want 60s, you want to use these settings. So we apply them. 50 to 60 should be that way. So that should be the way to do it. Give a link to the wallpaper? Sure, I'll go. What's the name of this? Hogwarts Legacy. Wallpapers wide. So if you want the wallpaper I have, here's the link with many resolutions. Wallpaper. So guys, if you want the wallpaper, there it is. You can find it on many resolutions. 30 FPS on i3 6100. 6100, not sure really. Gotta try it with less threads to find out. I won't overclock here because I only have one fan. There's no fog setting. Yeah, there's none. And you cannot disable those... what's the name of this? The volumetric clouds cannot be disabled at all, which is a new one. Okay, as you can see now, we're getting basically 50 to 60. 50s in towns, 60s in the middle of the town, and then more than 60 when nothing is happening. You're out and about. So yeah, these are the best settings for the 2060. I'm sad to say. If I find a better setting than this, I'm going to make a separate video, where I'm waiting for the hardware unbox video, so they investigate. But also the games run significantly better on the AMD cards, so I expect this game to run on the 5700 XT should be 5600 XT should be significantly faster, because the 580 did way better than the 1650 Super. So yeah, on the AMD cards, this is an AMD game so far on the performance side. Asked, and then we'll see what else we do. So for 1080p, those are the settings. At least in my opinion, those are the settings that you should be using. Let's try 1440p on the optimal settings, first of all. 3090 is probably not going to get 4K 60. Seeing how the 2060 is doing on 1080p, I have low hopes for the 3090. But the AMD cards are going to do amazing on this game, the new ones. If the Nvidia cards are doing bad, the new AMD cards are going to destroy this game, really. Seeing how the numbers are right now, that's what I can say, really. 1 second, guys, I'm trying to make the overlay bigger. There we go. So 1440p now. Yeah, I'm going to try both later, don't worry. So we're doing 1440p on the same settings as before. High settings, low anti-aliasing, medium volumetric clouds, because that's the lowest, and the medium textures. And we're getting, we're getting 50s. Okay. Fair enough. So with the optimal 1080p settings, okay, we're getting 40s now, never mind. So with the optimal 1080p settings, you're getting 40s at 1440p. We just lost like 8 FPS. We haven't lost much by increasing the resolution, which is pretty interesting. What a weird thing. Anyways, let's very quickly jump into 4K. Let's see if we can get at least 30 at 4K. So we're doing now 4K, just to get that out of the way. Then we will see if we can get 60s at 1440, but yeah. Hi, Martian Defender. Yeah, I'm the graphics guy. Nice seeing you there. So guys, let's try very quickly 4K. Let's see if we can get 30 frames. And then we will try to do 60s at 1440p, but I don't have high hopes, if I'm honest. So yeah, this is 4K now. 4K on the 1080p optimal settings, so 4K resolution. This is probably going to be below 60, but below 30, sorry. All right. Okay, not that bad. I was expecting mid-teens, but this is basically 30 frames. With, well, upper 20s really, not 30 frames. How interesting. Let's try to do a few tweaks here. Maybe we're lucky and we can get it someplace else. No motion blur. And maybe the shadows, I need to lower those. Oh, I can use dynamic resolution. We are super close to 30, so... But let me see. Okay. Even in the town, we're getting 30s at 4K. Yeah. Unless we're looking at grass or something. Interesting. Super interesting. On medium settings 4K, we should be getting 30s then. That's pretty cool. How interesting. After those 1080p numbers, I wasn't expecting 4K 30. What a weird game. Anyways, let's do dynamic resolution 30 FPS and try it out. Let's see if we can maintain 30s. Yeah, this looks awful. I mean the performance. Yeah, it stutters. So probably even with dynamic resolution we're not getting decent numbers at 4K. So we're doing medium settings without dynamic resolution. We get from there. So I just want to get to 4K 30 and then we do 1440p again. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to see if we can get at least 30 frames. But I mean, man, the consoles are going to... The next-gen consoles are running this at 4K 60, so what the heck? How are they doing that? What about just for fun, raise everything to ultra for 1 FPS? Yeah, sure, I'm doing that later. After I get 30s, we're getting there. Anyways, do you have an eagle to fly around? Yeah, I have. I forgot about that. Thank you, Mark. Mark always saving me for forgetting things. Thank you, man. Alright. So let's get into the game now. Yeah, I'm doing 1440p after this. No worry, man. I'm also going to do ultra just for the laughs. I'm doing ultra. But yeah. Anyways, we're doing medium 4K and then we're doing 1440. But I'm so disappointed about the 2060's performance on this. Okay, 29, so not an improvement. Gotta lower those anti-aliasings, so low settings, low anti-aliasing, better said. Alright, so medium settings, low AA. Let's see, so 4K, medium settings, low AA. Let's see if we can maintain 30 frames. Let's use the bird. Okay, not bad. Even when zooming in and looking into the distance, it appears to be okay. It appears. Yeah, we're into the 30s, but barely. Okay. Yeah, we're there. So if you want to play at 4K 30 frames, at least in this town, we're over 30 pretty much all the time. So, nice. Not bad, actually. If you're aiming for 30, the game doesn't have much issues on the GPU side. Then if you want to get 60s, it's pretty difficult, really, on this card. Anyways. So yeah, guys, you can do apparently 4K 30 frames. Just use medium settings, low AA, and you should be just fine. Pretty impressed, really, with 4K. Then on 1080p, I'm super disappointed. But just for the laughs, let's do 4K ultra settings. Because why not? Let's have some fun, not that you guys wanted that. So we're doing 4K ultra settings, and then we're swapping to 1440p. So... yeah, there's no DLSS as far as I know. Let me find that. DLSS, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. No, doesn't have any DLSS, apparently. No, doesn't seem to be. Yeah, no DLSS, apparently. Can you turn off AA? No, there's now no option to disable it, unfortunately. You either have it on high, medium, or low. Yeah, every PC user doesn't need to play at 30, but it's the easiest way to play I mean, the easiest thing is to get 30s in this game, basically. You can do even 4K 30 on a 2060, but for 1080p 60, you need a mix between medium and high. Yeah, 1 FPS. Let's do 1 FPS now. So, thanks, Rodrigo. So, 1080 4K on ultra settings. Let's see how it goes. Let's kill this 2060. Yeah, the Joe TV, maybe the 1080, the GTX 1080 is doing better due to the memory bandwidth. I saw that the lowering taxes gave us better performance, so probably memory bandwidth bottleneck here. As you can see on ultra settings, I'm getting 20 FPS. That's because the video memory is completely maxed out at 4K. So do not do this. Do yourself a favor. Do not use the ultra settings. But I wish we had at least a way to get 60s consistently. Doesn't seem to be a way. Let's do now 1440. I wish we had DLSS. With DLSS, this would be a piece of cake, but we don't have it. So let's do 1440p now at ultra settings. Then we'll start dropping some stuff. So 1440p resolution now on ultra settings. As you can see, ultra high at 1440p. Okay, another 15 FPS, but we're lowering the VRAM usage. Gotta restart the game, I think. Yeah, the VRAM usage is lower now. 1 second, guys. Gotta restart the game because it went over the VRAM limit at 4K. So we gotta restart it. Sorry about that, guys. If that doesn't work, we're lowering those textures, but hey. Before 2010, we all played with 20 FPS. Yeah, well, that's true. I used to play at 15 FPS. I played Resident Evil 4 at 15 FPS on my integrated graphics. Back when Resident Evil 4 didn't have mouse control, I remember using the keyboard keys like a moron. But it was the only way, and I enjoyed it. Sí, rest in peace, Ultra 4K, sí. Rest in peace, 4K Ultra. But that was to be expected, it's a 2060. Now you see why NVIDIA put 8 gigabytes on the 2060 Super. As you can see, the video memory already maxed out. So yeah, let's do now 1440p Ultra, and we're going to try. Yeah, the frame time was terrible because the frame rate was super low. So yeah, let's give it a try. Come on. Please, game. Let me in. Let me in! You run better at 4K than 1440p? No, we were video memory limited, that's why. How old are you? I'm about to be 25, actually. Alright, so 1440p ultra settings is basically 30 frames per second. As you can see, now that I've restarted the game without the VRAM limit. It's dropping into the upper 20s, but this should be super easy to fix by lowering the... what's the name of this? The clouds. If you lower the clouds, boom, you're up there again. Let's try that. Oh, before that, let's fly with the Eagle. Yeah, with the Eagle, we're getting... yeah, we're into the 30s, upper 20s. Let's see when I zoom in. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be an issue. But when I'm here, I'm back into the upper 20s. So yeah, let's lower those volumetric clouds. So you go down here and lower those volumetric clouds to medium, because who wants their performance destroyed? Nobody. Okay, we earned a couple extra frames, nothing special really. But we're into the 30s now, so let's keep it like that. So ultra settings, medium clouds, because low clouds does not exist at all. So yeah, anyways. So if you want 1440p Ultra, you can do it if you lower clouds, but you're going to get 30 frames. 60 frames, you need 1080p on a mix between medium and high. So yeah. And if I fly around...
Cast about this land, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, mid-20s when looking at this place with the bird and zooming in. Yeah, always when looking at water, it doesn't fail. So yeah. We're probably, yeah, memory bandwidth bottlenecked. If the 1080 GTX 1080 is doing better than this, probably bottlenecked by that. So yeah, 1440p, you can do this, which is interesting, but do not expect 60 frames at 1440p. That's probably a low settings territory. So yeah, let's put the optimal settings now and let's play the game. Yeah, there's no DLSS, guys. Let me look at it in gameplay. There's none here. Nothing here. Yeah, there's no DLSS. Let's see on screen. Nope, no DLSS anywhere to be seen. Yeah, no DLSS. So let's do what's the name of this? High settings, and we're lowering volumetric clouds to medium. Environment textures, I keep them the same. Character textures on medium. For some reason, yeah, let's use the optimal settings and get out of there. So no motion blur. Let's put depth of field on low to have some sort of effect in the background. Yeah, that should do the job just fine with anti-aliasing on low. I'm super disappointed about this, really. Medium to high settings to get 60s on a 2060. Me not like that on 1080p, not even 1440p. So mid-high settings, low AA. Medium volumetric clouds. And these are basically the best settings. I'm sorry to say, for 1080p, not even 1440. So I cry in Spanish. So yeah, pretty disappointed, really, on this card. Why does every game release after 2015 has piece-poor optimization? I don't know, but it's not all the games. Some games run well. But this one runs bad on NVIDIA cards, which is pretty funny, really. Because Watch Dogs 2 is the other way. Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs Legion, well, it runs good on both brands. Good. Runs decent on both brands. And by decent, I mean it's over 30. So yeah. Saludos de Venezuela, bueno, saludos desde Uruguay. Espero que esté todo bien por ahí. Que vayan mejorando las cosas. I think it's because of the CPU. It can't hit 60. No, it's not the CPU, for Christ's sakes. You people. Not every one of you. The CPU is fine. The GPU is maxed out. The CPU is okay. If I put even a 99 whatever K, it's going to be below 60 anyways. It's a GPU thing, not a CPU thing. This is not Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Please be informed before saying stuff wrong. Come on, man. Be informed. If it was the CPU, it would have been an easy fix, really. It would have been super clear that the GPU was not maxed out. I wish it was a CPU issue, but it's not. It's a GPU thing. The game is GPU bound. Anyways, so let's try the optimal settings on the benchmark tool, because I didn't use the benchmark tool before on this one. So we're doing 1080p, medium to high settings with low anti-aliasing, medium volumetric clouds, and let's hope for the best. No, not all of us. Not all of you guys. You guys are great. Some people are not great, but you guys are great. Not all of you. Alright, so on the benchmark tool, we're getting over 60 at the moment. We'll see once we get into the middle of the things. Usually these benchmarks, when you're in the middle of a town, it kills the performance. So we're about to get there. And you can see there's a lot of stutter. And the GPU, okay, the CPU is not maxed out, but it's getting there. So if you had a better CPU here, you get less stutter, but the frame rate overall will be the same. And usually the benchmark tools in this game are pretty... not really realistic. This seems to be running better than the town I was testing just now. Let's see. Let's see what average we get. Don't be sad, come on. There's other things in life other than video games. All right. We're getting there. Do you think it's a bad port or the game is demanding? Hard to tell really, because it's using the GPU at its maximum potential, so hard to tell because on AMD cards it's running a lot better. I think this game is probably what's the name of this? Memory bandwidth limited on the GPU, because the 1080, the GTX 1080, according to some people, ran better than this by a decent amount. So yeah, probably memory bandwidth limited. Anyway, so guys, we got an average of 71 FPS with a maximum of 122 and a minimum of 6. As you can see, a lot of stutter, and the CPU was and the CPU was not maxed out. So as you can see, the optimal settings give us 70 frames on the benchmark tool. Let's see in the actual game. In the place I consider the worst case scenario, how the game runs. As you could see, it was over 60 all the time, most of the time in the benchmark tool. Let's see how the game goes now, the actual game. It's probably going to be worse than the benchmark. We'll see if I found a place that runs worse than the benchmark, which is the first small city. Let's find out. Alright, so we are back into the town now, and as you can see, we're getting worse numbers than on the benchmark tool. On the benchmark tool we were over 60 almost all the time. Here we drop into the 50s. So as you can see, the benchmark is not a great representation of how the game runs. If you stand in this place in the first town, you're getting worse numbers than on the benchmark tool. So recommendation, use this town, the first one, as a reference. Do not use the benchmark tool as a reference. It doesn't seem to be, I mean, even the benchmark tool was stuttering like crazy. This is not. So the first time you launched it, yeah, but as you can see, this runs worse than the benchmark tool. I'm using an NVMe SSD, but it's such a slow NVMe SSD that it's basically the same as a normal SSD, as a SATA drive. I spent very little on the SSD I have there. So it's NVMe, but it's one of the slowest ones. So basically the same as a SATA drive at this point. That's why the game loads so fast. I'm using an SSD. So let's keep playing the game now that we're here. And we're going to enable VSync. So you guys can see. Now let's enable this. Yeah, let's enable VSync so you guys can see the best experience. So we're doing adaptive VSync. Why not? So it locks to 60 frames. All right. So we're doing these settings plus VSync. So you don't get screen tearing, first of all, and second of all, you get lock 60, so you don't get uneven frame times. So that's how you do it. Medium textures, low AA, the rest on high, medium volumetric clouds, plus VSync. And as you can see now, we are getting basically locked 60 frames on 1080p. Unfortunately, this is not at 1440p or anything like that. This is only 1080p. But I mean, at least there's a way to get 60s. At least. Doesn't make it a good option, but hey. With a stutter on HDD, it shouldn't. It should load much slower though on the hard drive. Alright, so let's go to the mission, which I couldn't find. There you are. Let's go that way. Okay. Let's get down. I wonder how the Series S will compare. Same. I'm super intrigued to see how the Series S does. Will be super interesting. Alright. The Series S, if the Series S does 1440p at 30 frames, I'll be impressed. But since this game runs better on AMD, I wouldn't be surprised if the game ran good on those consoles. I mean, it's running better on AMD GPU, so... La 2080 de cuello de botella, no deberías tener drama en este caso porque estamos apuntando a 60 FPS. Así que... And to the people that said that, oh, your CPU is limiting you, well, it's not, as you can see. We're getting 60 locked even in the town. The town gets GPU bound, so... Yeah, the issue is usually the GPU here. And this part I'm not doing much really, I'm trying to get to the objective. So let's get there. I don't have a 5700 XT, unfortunately. I cannot afford that many things. But on that one it's probably going to be significantly better than this, since it runs better on the AMD cards. So, but hopefully Nvidia and Nvidia and Ubisoft do something to improve performance on their cards. Right now I'm using the game ready driver and the latest patch on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So this is basically how it goes. If you put high AA, will it drop that much FPS? Oh, yeah. Let's do that. It should drop a little bit lower on the towns, but it shouldn't be that bad in most scenarios. So let's put AA on high. Let's just keep it like that. So we're going to put medium textures. But I'm sure there's some memory bandwidth bottleneck going on because on older cards that have better memory bandwidth is doing better apparently. And lowering textures helped us get like 5 FPS more. So yeah, something iffy is going on there with the memory bandwidth. I think that's my expectation. If I'm wrong, well, I'm wrong. But that's my expectation for what I've been doing in this game so far. Can you try 1440p? I already did. With these settings, you're getting 40s. With a mix between ultra and very high, you're getting 30s. So 1440p, you can do 30 frames. I'm missing the square button so much. To collect, you have to use triangle. You have to use Y to collect, but I usually use square to collect stuff. So I get messed up there. I F up. Alright. We're going to swap to 1440p later. But be patient, guys. Trying to complete some missions. Gotta skip everything, so bye. We don't care, whatever, get out. What do you brew? I don't care. Tell no one else. Okay, so we got baptized, as you can see. But the game looks good in the outside areas. Then the characters are a little bit flat, I would say.
Felt nothing.
So yeah, could try 4K medium. I already did 4K. You can find that part if you rewind. Just medium settings, low AA, and you're getting 4K 30 basically. So if you're aiming for 30, it should be fine. The thing is, when you are aiming for 60, that's more of a problem. So yeah. So 1080p low setting for 30 FPS on my 970, maybe, yeah, I would say. Medium, no, low settings, no. If you want 60s, probably low settings will be what you need. But for 30 frames, high settings should be more than enough, man. On the 970. I went the wrong way. 2060 Super, the 2060 Super should give you high settings, 60 frames, yeah. And the video memory is much better. The amount of video memory is much better.
Brother, when did you arrive?
Even on RTX 2080 Ti, 1080p was 65 to 70. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, if you tweak the game, you should be able to get good frames. But I mean, on a high-end card, on the highest settings, this game suffers quite a bit, especially on the Nvidia cards, which is pretty funny because on Odyssey it was the other way around. It had the X11, but it ran better on Nvidia, and it ran better on Nvidia. And this one is the X12, but it runs much worse on Nvidia. So AMD won this one, apparently. So probably the new AMD cards are going to wreck this game apart. But some options are so demanding for some reason. On the Nvidia cards especially. That CPU usage amazes me, so low compared to Odyssey. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The good thing about jumping to DX12 is that they managed to get less CPU utilized. So it's more, but it uses more GPU now. So we're trading a lot of CPU usage for a lot of GPU usage. So yeah. Yeah, I don't care. Let me skip. I don't care because I'm looking at performance. DLSS 2.0 is a future for all GPUs. Yeah, hopefully we get DLSS for this game soon. But yeah. Right now there's no DLSS on this one. Let's see where do I have to go now? Family matters. Alright, where to? This way. Yeah, this way. So let's continue those missions. How long will the Ryzen 3 3100 will be usable for gaming? No idea really. I mean, as long as the PS4 is relevant, it should be relevant. But who knows, maybe it lasts longer. At the moment I can say it's enough for 60 on most games. Some games, well, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, are not hitting 60s, but this one seems to be. As you can see here, we drop into the 40s due to the high anti-aliasing. If you put anti-aliasing on low, you're getting 60s even in this area. But this town seems to be the worst so far. For some reason, when looking into that place, I drop into the 40s with high AA. So if you lower the anti-aliasing to low, you're not getting those FPS drops into the 40s. It will drop into the 50s. So yeah, anyways. For some reason, the Benchmark 2 run better, so what the heck, the Benchmark 2 is supposed to be the worst. Esta configuración, pero con un Ryzen 5600 tenés una idea de cómo puede correr. Debería llegar a 60 sin problemas, si usas estos ajustes. Guys, somebody asked me if a Ryzen 5 1600 was going to get the same frames with this card. It should be fine, should be basically the same. For 60 frames, it should be fine. So let's get back into the ship. But as you can see in this place, without low anti-aliasing, you are not getting 50s, you're getting 40s. But it's the only place so far that I saw those drops. Even in the benchmark tool, we're not getting that, which is pretty interesting. But I'm pretty disappointed that I have to lower those textures. I have to lower those because if I lose 5 FPS with high textures, I'm super confused about that. I think it's a memory bandwidth limitation, really. Yeah, you can put a 3100 with a 2060. As you can see, the GPU is the one that is maxed out, not the CPU.
But he disagrees.
Alright. I'm going to play a few more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to leave the live stream. I'm super tired, and I finished testing everything. I'm going to put timestamps, do not worry. Do you think AMD Fidelity FX could do something against DLSS? If it's a good implementation and looks good, yeah, sure, why not? The thing is, I don't think that's going to be the case. I tried Fidelity FX on Death Stranding, and it looked decent, but nowhere near close what DLSS could do, so we'll see how it goes. ¿Cómo irá con la 290? ¿Sabes que no sé si la 290 lo corre? Fíjate que tenga el feature level 12/0. Yeah, I think, yeah, I had enough for today, guys. I'm tired. I tested everything. So, guys, I'm going to finish this live stream now. If you want to see the timestamps for this, once the video finishes, be patient. I'm going to put timestamps so you see 4K, 1440p, 1080p, all that stuff. The bottleneck here is the GPU, as you can see. The graphics card is the limiting factor. The CPU is chilling there, doing nothing, almost nothing. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I'm going to now shout out to the members. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this live stream. I'm going to now go back to the YouTube studio. Whoa. Because I had enough for today. I did like 4 hours of live streaming, I think. So we're going to just thank the members now. But yeah, super disappointed about the 2060's performance, really. I was expecting a lot more from the 2060 on this game. So the members are... The Awesome Supporters 2.0 are the ones that get a shout out at the end of the video. So thank you so much, Coconuts, Abhisek Mukherjee, Rodrigo Duarte, Christo Job, Sonaka Das, and Ken. Thank you guys so much for being an awesome supporter 2.0, which is a tier 2 membership that gives you the icons, the emojis, and you get a shout out at the end of the live stream. So thank you guys for going the extra mile. Also thank you to the awesome supporters 1.0, which are the ones that only get the icons and the emojis. Thanks to you guys also. And thank you so much for watching, guys. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be getting games to review or time to do these reviews, these quick first impressions on the performance. So yeah, see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye bye. See you guys.